Welcome, everyone. Today, we are stepping into a genuinely profound period of cosmic shifting. We're talking about Saturn, the lord of duty, discipline, karma, and time itself. Welcome to this descriptive analysis of Saturn's 2026 retrograde. Whether you're completely new to astrology or you've been following it for years, we're going to break down exactly what this means for you. We're looking at a fascinating period where Saturn, while stationed in the sign of Pisces, prepares to move backward. So, let's get grounded, pay our respects to the immense energy of this planet, and unpack exactly what this retrograde means for our everyday lives.
Right off the bat, let's address the giant ringed elephant in the room. Does Saturn actually move backward? You know, it's a super common fear. People hear the word retrograde and instantly imagine this massive planetary body literally throwing it into reverse and bringing absolute chaos to the universe. But we need to separate the astronomy from the astrology right here to understand what's truly going on.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, what is retrograde? Second, the 2026 Saturn retrograde schedule. Third, Sade Sati and special transits. Fourth, results for all 12 signs. And finally, remedies to remove obstacles. Section 1. What is retrograde?
Scientifically speaking, Saturn isn't physically going backward. There's no way. It is entirely an optical illusion caused by the difference in orbital speeds between Earth and Saturn as we both travel around the Sun. Imagine you're driving a really fast car and you overtake a slower moving train. For a brief moment, if you look out your window, that train looks like it's actually moving backward, right? That is exactly what happens from our vantage point here on Earth. It's just a trick of perspective.
But just because it's an optical illusion definitely doesn't mean it lacks impact. In astrology, especially if we look at classical texts like the Phaladipika, a retrograde planet's power doesn't weaken at all. It actually intensifies. Saturn represents discipline, patience, and commitment, so when it goes retrograde, those themes amplify massively. Think of it like a giant cosmic audit. This is absolutely not the time to launch brand new ventures. Instead, it's a period demanded by karma for reviewing your past decisions, fixing what's broken, and finally tying up those lingering responsibilities.
Moving on to Section 2, the 2026 Saturn retrograde schedule.
Knowing the actual timeline is your best defense against feeling overwhelmed here. The energy officially shifts on July 27, 2026, when the retrograde begins, and it finally stations direct on December 11, 2026. That is a solid 138 days. Basically 4.5 months of deep reflective energy. And take a look at the location, Pisces. What's highly significant here is that this is actually Saturn's second retrograde in Pisces. The first one was back in 2025. So what does this mean? It means whatever lessons or unresolved issues you faced in late 2025 are coming back for one final, much deeper review.
To really grasp the gravity of this, we have to zoom out and look at the broader transit. Saturn is traveling through Pisces from March 2025 all the way through to June 2027. Pisces is the 12th, the very last zodiac sign, so traditional astrologers view this entire multi-year transit as a cosmic closing of the books, the whole shebang. It represents the end of an old life chapter and the very necessary clearing out required before any profound spiritual growth and new beginnings can take root.
Section 3, Sade Sati and special transits.
Before we go any further, a quick but absolutely crucial reminder. In this traditional system, we are looking at your moon sign, not your sun sign. Okay, so if your moon is in Aries, Pisces, or Aquarius, you are currently in a phase of Sade Sati. That's the famous 7.5-year period of Saturn transiting over and adjacent to your natal moon. Pisces, you're feeling the most intense pressure right now in phase 2. Additionally, we have Leo experiencing Ashtama Shani and Sagittarius under Kantaka Shani. I'm grouping these 5 high-stakes signs together because if you're one of them, you need to know this. This retrograde demands extra patience, deep caution, and highly deliberate action from you.
Section 4, results for all 12 signs. Let's break it down for everyone. Remember, listen for your moon sign.
Here is our first block. Aries, your Sade Sati is just beginning, so you are definitely going to feel the pressure of new responsibilities. It might feel super heavy at first, but patience right now is going to build a rock-solid foundation for your future. Taurus, you are in a fantastic spot. Saturn in your 11th house is highly favorable, bringing the fulfillment of wishes and really strong support from friends. Gemini,
Saturn is activating your career zone. Expect recognition and growth, but only if you step up to your responsibilities. In Cancer, you might experience some frustrating delays regarding higher education or foreign matters, but staying righteous and patient will absolutely yield great results in the end.
Moving right along, Leo. With Ashtama Shani in your 8th house, healthcare and managing sudden expenses absolutely must be your top priority. It's going to be tough, but it will build immense inner strength. Virgo, your 7th house is activated, which means your marriage and partnerships are going to be heavily tested. Radical honesty is required here. Now look at Libra. This brilliantly illustrates that Saturn isn't universally difficult. Despite all the general fears surrounding Saturn, Libra is actually enjoying one of the absolute best placements this year, experiencing incredible victory over debts and competitors. Awesome, right? Finally, Scorpio, you need to exercise extreme caution right now regarding investments and any matters concerning children.
Concluding our forecasts, we have Sagittarius. Karntaka Shani brings potential instability to your property and home life, so please prioritize domestic peace above all else. Capricorn, this transit is highly favorable for you. It's boosting your courage and really improving your relationships with siblings. Aquarius, as you enter the final phase of your Sade Sati, it's all about a final review of your wealth, your speech, and your family dynamics. And finally, Pisces, you are at the absolute peak of Sade Sati pressure. It is intense, for sure, but you have to frame this correctly. This deep focus on your health and personal identity is a completely necessary period for massive, permanent internal maturity. You've got this.
Section 5. Remedies to remove obstacles.
Knowing the forecast is really only half the battle. This section is all about empowerment and how you can actively navigate any of that astrological friction. The source material offers some highly practical and spiritual remedies. Lighting a sesame oil lamp on Saturdays or performing a traditional Bodhi Pooja are beautiful, deeply grounding rituals. Chanting the mantra Om Sham Shanayscharaya Namaha 108 times really helps focus the mind. But honestly, what's most crucial here is that final point. True reverence for Saturn isn't just about rituals or rushing out to buy a blue sapphire gemstone. In fact, the source notes you should literally never do that without expert consultation. True remedy involves everyday humility, respecting the elderly, aiding the disabled, and acting with deep integrity. That is the ultimate way to align with Saturn's energy.
And that brings us to the core philosophy of this entire descriptive analysis. Saturn is not a punisher, but a teacher of discipline. You know, it's so easy to fear a retrograde, to fear the delays, the heavy responsibilities, but if you act with honesty and patience during these 138 days, the victories you achieve afterward won't be fleeting. They will be permanent and they will be incredibly stable. So as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with this question to ponder. What unresolved lesson from your past is Saturn giving you one final chance to master before you move into a brand new chapter of your life? Thank you so much for exploring this explainer with me today.